Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Anime Watch Club, a bi-weekly group discussion and review where the hosts of the What You Say Anime podcast nominate and vote on shows either we haven't seen or shows that hopefully lead to a great discussion. On today's episode, the If We Wear Masks, Will People Not Recognize Us bandmates of the What You Say Anime podcast will be reviewing the 2023 anime Bang Dream, It's MyGO. Let's meet today's aspiring girl band members. First up, taking over Johnny's spot on keyboard, we got Jay. Jay, how's it going?
I do not fear girls' band shows.
Good to hear. Our first moderator tonight on lead vocals, and Miles, I'm putting you on the spot. Do you remember our fake band name that we made up during the first Bang Dream?
No.
Okay, you are the lead singer of Poopin' Party. We got Miles.
Did we make that up or did you say that?
Well, we're a collective group, so.
Dude, I completely forgot Poppin' Party was the name of the last one when they were mentioning it. That's crazy.
We got Poppin' Party, Rosalia, Morphicana.
Or something.
Yeah, I used to play the gacha game before I even knew there was an anime, just because I like rhythm games, and so I know some of the band names.
Nice. And Pat.
I do fear girls band shows. God damn it. Here we are. But so I just wanted to give you guys a little insight into my plan this episode. I got this really cool prop when I went and saw Gladiator in theaters this past week. So I will be giving a thumbs up to points and takes I agree with and things that we talk about during this show, and a thumb down to things that I do not like and dislike. So
great audio content.
Yeah, no, it's
whenever
perfect.
Okay, I'll be on the lookout, and whenever he says it or whenever he does it, I'll say +1 or -1 gently.
You'll say the gods smile upon you or the gods frown upon you.
No. Just +1 or -1. That's too much.
Yeah, no, I won't actually be doing that because that's a lot of work
That'd
and
be
I'm
so
tired. It would
They
be
handed out giant foam hands in a movie theater.
That's what I said when I handed them to me.
Yeah, what an
I said,
absurd.
I was like, when I got handed this to me, I looked at Ashley and I looked at one of my buddies I was with, and I was like, if I see anyone in the theater using this during the show, I am going to go down and rip their hand off because
you mean the foam one, right?
Yes, the foam. if it brings off the other hand too, then that's fine. But I was like, why would they ever hand this out at a movie theater? But they did, and the movie was great, and no one was using it. Thankfully, they saw it on premiere night, so that's why we got it, I guess. But yeah, this is the bit that I'm going to go with today. But so yeah, why don't we do our our opening thoughts on Bang Dream, It's MyGO, which aired in 2013 in the summer season.
Nope.
2023 is the year that I read and that I didn't say out loud because podcasting is something that we're really good at.
A test you passed.
Yeah. Where does the time go?
Yeah, I remember when this aired when I was 15 years old, and I just thought it was the best thing ever. And now here we are reviewing it 10 years later. We'll see if that's changed. All right, but yeah, the themes are drama and music. It's a girls' band show, so don't be surprised. Miles, what are your opening thoughts? And beware of the big thumb.
Yes, I guess first impressions for the show were, first I thought the show was going to have an uphill battle because the show is often compared to Girls Band Cry, and when we watch Girls Band Cry, it might be, even though I was expecting to enjoy it, might have been like the surprise of the year for me, right? Like I liked it much more than I thought I would. And I, didn't necessarily even think I would not like it. And I sort of know lightning doesn't strike twice. So I was ready for a little bit of a letdown on this, especially just based on the fact that I knew there would be some tie-ins and stuff to the series at large and things like that annoy me. And the first few episodes, like the first two, I would say, and then also the fourth and fifth, I found to be not great. I wasn't super excited about it. I was pretty bored. Will that continue throughout the rest of the show? We'll have to see. Would I recommend this? I'll caveat this one. I think that as far as like girls band shows go, this is like a relatively good one. So I guess it just spoiled. It will get better. So I think that if you are a fan of the genre, or maybe you think you might be, this is definitely a good entry to check out. I personally like this more than I like something like K-On! So, take that for what you will. I think there are stronger entries in the genre, something like Bochi, something like and yeah, well, remember I secretly do like Bochi. Something like Girls Band Cry, as we mentioned. But I do think this is, if you think you might be into this sort of genre, or you are, definitely give this a watch, is what I would say.
All right, Jay, what about you?
Yeah, so when I got to give special shout out, or honestly the opposite of a shout out, to the first episode of this show. When I was watching this, I literally messaged Miles and said, "This is the most boring show we've ever watched." And it was not a good intro. First impressions matter a lot. And spoiler alert, I ended up liking this show a bit. Like, I did enjoy it. But, like, the first episode of this, the second episode of this, not fantastic. I don't remember if it's 2 or 3. That's the first person perspective episode. I think it's 3. But that was, like, kind of the turning point for me. But, like, the first 2 episodes of this are just not really a good introduction into what you should expect from this show, in my opinion, apart from the cold open. The cold open is pretty strong, but that's just strong because of the fact that it's a cold open. A lot of the times, those are just naturally good hooks, dropping somebody into a situation that's already in progress, they have no idea what's going on, is a good way to make somebody go, huh, I wonder what's going on. But, like, being introduced to the school doesn't matter at all. Like, you literally never see them doing anything related to school, which I'm cool with. I don't need it to be like a school show. But, like, we spend the first episode wandering around the school as just sort of an excuse to meet these random characters. And, like, it's just boring. Mostly because it's focused on the main character of the show, Anon Chihaya, who is perhaps one of the weakest main characters ever, honestly. I'm sorry, MyGO fans. She just doesn't do anything for me. Like, there's a scene, I think it starts in like 3 or 4 or something like that, where she begins to get like, so she begins to think that they could replace her if they get more talented people, and she's factually right. So, would I recommend this to somebody based off of the first 3 episodes? No, I actually wouldn't, honestly. The third episode is rather strong, but the first 2, like, I don't think I could convince somebody to sit through that a lot of the time, unless they were a fan of the genre already, in my opinion. But, like, I'm trying to do less of the, you'll enjoy this show if you're a fan of this show sort of stuff that we kind of fall into sometimes. So
it's fair.
I'm about to do that.
Yeah,
I already did.
It's like one of the most valid things that you could say.
It's incredibly valid. I get it. Like, I've said it before multiple times. I'm just, of course. It's like, of course
Right.
They would.
Yeah, fair enough.
So no,
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend it, sadly.
If you like chocolate, you'll probably like chocolate cake. Yeah, like really. Wow, thanks.
If you don't like chocolate, you might not like chocolate cake.
Yeah, basically what our takes sometimes boil down to. But yeah, all right. But fair enough, Jay. All right, Pete, what about you?
So coming into this, I was expecting this to be not Bang Dream and expecting this to be Girls Band Cry, which is on me, 100% on me, because the score is much higher than I should say much higher, but it's higher than other Bang Dream shows. So I was like, okay, I know this has a more serious tone. Maybe they delve into something more than just like, we need to start a band and do stuff. And they do that. But at the core of it, it was still a Bang Dream show, which if you've heard our first review of the first Bang Dream, we did not like season 1 of Bang Dream at all. So I think I kind of came into it with like the wrong mindset, and it kind of hurt my viewing experience. I think episode 3 saved it a little bit because I just think how that was like structured was awesome. But I'm kind of with everybody else. I thought episode 1 and 2 were pretty bad. And Anon Chihaya, I don't think she's as bad as Jay as saying as she's the worst MC, but I think
she's worse.
I think she's a pretty bad. Like her motivations, I guess for like a teen girl makes sense, but like what I liked about the realness of something like Girls Band Cry was like kind of fluffed in this version of it, where I couldn't like really get into it. By the end of it, I think I enjoyed the show for what it is, but man, it was a first. I think you definitely need to watch the first 3 episodes. You can't just drop it after one, because I don't think it does the full picture. But what I recommend this show, if you're a fan of Uma Musume, Bang Dream, Love Live, Bocchi the Rock, Idolmaster, what else is out there? If you're a fan of like these like girl music focused shows, I would recommend it. But like, you're not getting Sound Euphonium, you're not getting Girls Band Cry, you're getting like, instead of like drinking a Diet Coke, you're having Diet Coke with a splash of like rum or something like that. Like it's still Diet Coke pretty much, but like there's a little bit to it. So if you're a fan of those shows, I would recommend it. But yeah, that's kind of my first impressions on it.
That's interesting. We'll have to talk about where the scale. We can explain the X CD or whatever the thing is, the comic, and see like where we would go on it. Because I think that this is probably closer, in my opinion, to like a Girls Band Cry than it is to season 1 of Bang Dream.
But you haven't seen Jellyfish, and I think this is very on point to like what Jellyfish does.
Okay,
I want to discuss that actually. That was what I was thinking about it.
That would be interesting, because like just to remind everyone, they got on stage and sang "Twinkle Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" in Bang Dream season 1.
Yes, we didn't get that. Thank God.
We did, yes, and like,
but we kind of did though. We literally got a girl reading her poem on stage, and then that got
that was very punk, unironically.
That was so dumb. No one would applaud that at a rock concert.
Bro,
sorry.
People go to law dispute shows, so that's where you're wrong.
Yeah, like I could see it playing well. I think you probably want to be expecting it. However, what I'll say is that is better than singing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star."
100%.
It is, because at least from a narrative structure point of view, one, I didn't have to listen to Kasumi sing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" and then the entire audience do it and people act like it was the fucking best thing that's ever happened. 2, at least the poetry was good. Like I enjoyed that. 3, if you're at like a multi-show venue where like multiple artists are going to get up and play and one person gets up and does something weird, I feel like you're going to be a little more forgiving.
Yep.
Because, you know, these are like multi-set things. I do agree with you, would be a bit weird.
And then when she signs up to do it again, the showrunner goes, "Oh yeah, you can do it again," you know, and again and again and
again. They
gotta
fill space.
Yeah, you have to realize there are infinity bands in this universe, which is another thing that I want to talk about.
I was also thinking that. Yeah, I don't know. All right, I guess I'll do my impressions as well. I'm very much in the naysayer camp as well, so big thumbs down to anybody who worked on this.
Damn, that's disrespectful.
No, if your work sucks, I don't know. We make fun of athletes all the time when they play like shit. I'm gonna make fun of animators when they, I don't know. Yeah, this is a weird hill to die on, but I'll die on it. I don't care. Yeah, I just did not like this show at all. I went in expecting another Bang Dream, and I got another Bang Dream, but slightly better. Like I guess what you guys are saying, there are things that were better about it, and I will have some positive things to say. I also was in the boat where I didn't mind Anon-chan that much. I mean, yeah, she's a weak main character, but like not as weak as, I don't know if she's like the weakest I've ever. Like I really didn't mind her motivations or her trepidations with like what was going on or what they were trying to do. So I do agree though, the cast is really weak. There's so much better, even if this is like something you like or a genre you like. Why I don't see a reason to really watch this show other than maybe watching the performances, because a couple of the songs were pretty good. But yeah, I'm not a big fan. I would not recommend this to basically anybody. So those first 3 episodes were so bad to watch. Like and it's not, for me, it was more than just the first 3 episodes. I was so bored throughout like 95% of this show. There were a couple scenes that caught me, but I was just dying watching this show. I'll be honest. It was one of the hardest watches we've had in a long time for me. So,
Damn.
yeah, I don't know. This is clearly not my genre.
True.
Shows, literally, very clearly. I think we've written it out. So please, I beg voters, please.
I think we're out of girl band shows though.
No, we're not. We haven't done K-On yet, man.
We're not. It's too core.
K-On.
You're safe.
You're safe for 2 months.
I was gonna say safe for 2 months. Jellyfish.
You like jellyfish? Is I'm
sure it would be fine. I'm sure I would think it's like similar. Like you said, if it's closer to Girl Band Cry, then I wouldn't mind it as much. But like even then, like I had a lot of praise for it, but it's like I also still didn't like watching it.
Did you like A Place Further Than the Universe?
Yeah, I did. I did like
that's
that
what
show.
Jellyfish is. It's the music version of that.
Jellyfish is like if in this show, instead of Anon just being on the stage kind of like lacklusterly a lot of the time and having all that drama with her not being able to play, she actually did something that she had put her mind to already, like being an artist or working the merch booth or some shit that she's capable of. I don't know. Like, the collective element of Jellyfish is so much more interesting than a lot of the stuff going on here, in my opinion. But, I don't know. I still enjoyed it.
Fair enough. I could see myself liking something, but never being like, oh, I want more of it in this genre. Like, in the same way, like, I thought Girl Band Cry was good. I don't think that I need any more of it no more of it will ever up my score. Thumbs up my score.
Nice.
It will only bring it down a little bit. So like the more entries and the less strong I guess the entries are for each type of show. So I don't know. I am very much in the not recommend camp. I think it's very weak, and there's a lot that I'm gonna want to talk about how like this band would never make it. Like, what are they doing? You know, like, where are all these fans coming from, man? Like, I just don't get it. They wouldn't function either. They wouldn't sound. Whatever. We'll get into that later. So yeah, I guess spoilers going forward for this Bang Dream It's MyGO show. Had 13 episodes, by the way, too, which I was annoyed by when I finished 12. And then there was a 13 sitting there waiting for me to watch.
That's me every time something has more than 10 episodes. I always get pissed. I get increasingly pissed off every episode.
Because like at least with 12, it's like, okay, this is the normal amount, so to speak. Like, especially nowadays, it seems like fewer shows are 13, more 12. So like, go figure, the show that I least enjoy in the last probably 6 months of us doing Watch Club is the one that has 13.
Look, fucking Rakugo Shinju had like 15, and
more shows should be 12 minutes long, by the way. There, I said
it. More shows should be only 12 minutes, you're saying?
Yeah.
Short form.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have half-length shows.
Their show would be a 7 if it had 12 minutes per episode, I think. Maybe not. That's being too mean, or being too nice.
You know, unpopular opinion, but my score of Bocce would go up if it was half form to emulate a 4 coma. But that's a discussion for another episode.
Are you sure? I would love to discuss that right now.
We haven't. You know what? Let's save it for next week. We can all nominate Bocce, so we get another girls band cry, or another girl, whatever the fuck, girls band show. I'll find. Let's talk about this show.
All right, yeah. I was gonna say, Miles, what have you got for a synopsis or for slots, whatever? I don't know,
sure.
Do you have one?
Okay, yeah. Anon transfers to a school where fucking everyone is in a band. Every single person is in a band, and she's like, "Holy shit! I need to join a band because everyone's in a band." And I kind of enjoyed that little tongue in cheek for the fact that they're in like a multimedia universe or whatever. However, so she goes around and she like uses her extroversion to bully people into joining a band with her. The only issue that she has is that she actually like doesn't play any instruments or anything. She's completely useless and sucks. So she sort of like learns how to do this. She has to give up on her dream of being a vocalist because she, one of the people she finds is like really good at singing, and they were part of this old band named Cry Chic. And then they get like every other former member of Cry Chic for the most part to join their band. And really what it is about them getting like better the band, and then also slowly piecing together what happened to the former band that Anon knows nothing about. which is part of the reason I think maybe she's a weak character, is that she's not like attached to the main source of drama in this, at least in my opinion. Anyways, so it's just about their stuff growing as band and the drama and stuff that's in it, as we've seen before. So that's the summary. The first thing that I wanted to discuss here, and we can like talk about this because we've had different opinions on it. Does the show have like a main, like, is she the main character, or is she the main character for like the first little bit and then they're like, wait a minute, it's actually Tomori?
I think Tomori is more so the main character on it. So in terms of like the actual plot, Tomori is way more involved.
I would agree with that. I think though I was talking about this with Miles earlier today. The way I looked at it is like she's meant to be like a vessel for the viewers a little bit to watch or to participate, and almost even a self-insert at some points where
She's like Tom from The Great Gatsby.
Yes.
Like she's bad at what she wants to do and tries to get better, and then like most people in real life, in this case with certain hobbies, especially ones that are so skillful like this, she doesn't get much better very quickly. Like she still stinks for most of the show. So I think that she's more meant to be like a person that obviously brings the band together because she at least somewhat knows all of them, or is meant to be that like glue. Not that she does a good job of it, but that's what she's meant to be. And yeah, it's just she's literally just there to let us self-insert ourselves into the story and like into put us into the room without like making any of the other girls a main character, even though they, like you said, Jay, I think like the girl who, like, how do we want to describe Tomori? Like
She's like reserved, a little socially anxious. She is like good-hearted though. Like she like really is loyal and values like companionship and all of that.
I mean,
She's
like
also
I would,
like somewhat coded as on the spectrum.
that's what I was about to say. Is like I feel very comfortable saying that she is meant to be someone on the spectrum,
100%.
or like, and that not necessarily that in like a negative way, of course. Like it's just like,
Yeah,
no, like that.
definitely
I think that that's what I think that is what the show was going for, and I think, kudos to the show, they actually kind of did it well. I think they're because like as they say, everyone's on the spectrum, and she's definitely a very weird combination of things or
They
characteristics
avoided
on a
making her a
spectrum.
savant too, which I appreciate. Like she wasn't like a supernaturally good singer or anything like that, while also being like, autism coded or whatever. Like,
Yeah,
so they actually did a really good job of representation there. And this is from I am somebody who is not on the spectrum as far as I'm aware, so grain of salt there, but I think it was done pretty well.
yeah. I think I think it was done well. It was just like the combination of traits, is not something that I would say you would usually see. Like some of them didn't add up with each other. Like if she's socially anxious, there are certain things that she does that someone who's really anxious wouldn't necessarily want to do. But again, that's like nitpicking. That's not overall. It was like pretty accurately done, I would say. And I think that they do a good job of like showing how she experiences that. That's like one of the best parts about episode 3, right? Is like getting to see the world through her lens, right?
Yeah, no, I guess like, I don't know. I'm not trying to say that like she couldn't potentially be, and this is just what I like to see, right? So I'm again not on the spectrum, but I do have like OCD, which is like a similar-ish thing. So when stuff that I have is portrayed, I like seeing some of the sort of the struggles that come out it more for like an actual representative thing, just because it's like mostly a strictly negative thing in my life. And so like just having it be all happy, not that she was all happy or anything, but like I think that stuff where she shows like really strong ability to like read people, figure out what's going on, and is able to like get up in front of like that place on her own and like do all that stuff. I just don't necessarily know if that would be, I don't know. I don't know enough about.
I know what you're saying there, but
Yeah.
like just because somebody is on
No,
the
that's
spectrum
100% true.
yeah, like
right?
that doesn't mean that they can't do it. It just means that they might have a harder time doing that sort of thing than somebody who is not autistic.
Yeah.
And there are obviously varying degrees of it too.
I think you're agreeing with me here, Miles, then that it's like, yeah, some of the things that she was coded in, or like that it seemed like she was being painted as that, like certain traits of like autism or being on the spectrum, however you'd want to refer to it. Like they just they did a good job with those traits, but then they had aspects of her that were very much not in line with
Yeah.
that usual painting, which I agree with as someone who lives with someone very much on the spectrum and has been around a lot of it throughout my life. Like it's very different, and my brother is not like her in any way. He's very different, but like there are certain things that she was doing, and like the tendencies of how she acted, how she like wouldn't make eye contact with people. When she got frustrated, she just runs away,
Yeah.
like things like that. Like those are very like they did a very good job with, I think, with a lot of those. But then yeah, also having her really like the scene of her standing there. I know I harped on it earlier, like whispering the lyric, like would someone do that? I don't know. I mean, maybe they would because it's Spectrum. Again, anyone can do anything and a lot of different combinations, but it just felt it didn't really add up. And maybe that was the point, was that was her growing, but it's like it's not really how autism works.
I mean,
So it's like, like
I guess like what I would to clarify my thoughts here is like I don't like putting a name to something like that where it could be a number of things.
Yeah, there's
Um,
overlap, and
yeah,
these
like
things are often comorbid as well. And
yeah, there's
also,
like
while we're
very high
ahead of it, we're
comorbidity.
not a medical or psychology-based podcast. Do not come to us for facts.
Yeah. No, yeah, but and
Come to
that's
me.
why I think come to Pat. I
DM
get
Pat, specifically has liability for it.
Yeah, I have a big thumb that
But,
tells me whether I'm right or not, and it's been vertical this whole time. So I don't know. Like no.
it's like I don't want to assign something to someone for a group that like I'm not a part of. That you know what I just don't want to like be like this is that when I don't know. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah,
that's just I'm hedging.
It's also
I'm afraid
like,
to commit.
Like the show itself is like, it's something where I like about like Mob, for example, where like they don't hide the fact that like he is on the spectrum. Like I applaud the show for like showing instances of Tomori, like it's not like sugar coated or anything like that. It's like you see it like subtly with like her notebooks, you see it with her pins on her bulletin board and stuff like that, the bugs and all that stuff, where it's like it's not. I think it's a great way to like showcase that, but like we don't have to like her as a character doesn't need to be exactly what somebody on the spectrum may or may not act like. It's just like
she doesn't need to be perfect representation.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like we can showcase say if she wasn't in the show and she got tongue tied, like it wouldn't be a problem because people get scared and on the stage and be like, oh, I forgot the lyrics to my own songs type of thing, and we would brush off because like that's something that like we have maybe done before. I don't know if anyone's done like public speaking, and we've ran into it where we like skip over words while we're talking and stuff like that, where we would brush that off. But because it's Tomori and like her situation and her whispering, it's like, is that something that somebody like this would do? Like, I don't think we should like view it that way. I think we should just view it as somebody who is super nervous to get on stage and super, like the anxiety of being in a new band and all the things that we're writing on that performance, because the whole thing was Tomori didn't want the band to break apart. Like she wanted them to play forever. So she wanted to have that, or I guess she had that pressure of wanting to put on a performance that was so good that the band wouldn't break up, but then she kind of fumbles the bag early. And then luckily the stray cat like helps her out and stuff, like, or the person in the audience helps her out or whatever when she sees it. But it's like, I think it's something like that where like you can do both and we don't need to view it in a lens of somebody like on the spectrum or whatever. I don't think we need to do that.
Yeah, we should view it in the individual lens of the character rather than like putting that sort of label on them. I agree with Miles in that way. Like it's not meant to be like I am labeling Tomori as an autistic character or whatever character you want to say here. And it doesn't have to be necessarily about autism. It could be in whatever. Like it's more of just like feeling the vibes there and seeing that like whenever I see something like this, if I'm not a part of the group, I look into it to see if there are people from the group who say that they relate to that character. And if you look it up, like on the internet in general, people who are on the spectrum do often relate to Tomori, at least in the small sample size that I have seen.
Mhm.
And it's the same thing with like Mob. Like I have a very close friend of mine who is autistic and like very proud about being autistic, and they love Mob. Like they call him like the king of the autism, like people with autism in anime and stuff like that.
That's my
And
boy.
it's like, yeah, and I just don't think there's like a ton of harm in it, because at the end of the day, like as long as you're not ascribing these traits to a character for like a negative reason, like as long as you're not seeing like, you know, Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter and going like, I think that he's gay because he is attracted to children or something like that. I don't think there's any harm in it. Like the reasons why, like it's not a negative thing, I guess, is all I'm saying.
No, that's true. So okay, I've done while thinking about this. Oh my god, sorry. We're getting a Miles personal time in the Bang Dream MyGo thing. So it's just like thinking about like why just sort of assigning that would like bother me was that like in like high school and stuff, people would bully me by literally just calling me autism. Like my name would be autism and not autistic, but again have conditions that are comorbid with a lot of those symptoms. So I think maybe the reason I'm so nervous about assigning something like that to Mori or any character really without it being like explicitly spelled out is because of that
Mhm.
history and like my personal journey of like getting diagnosed and everything like that. This is a positive story, but I'll never forget when I like told you, Jay, that I got diagnosed with OCD. You said, "Hey man, I could have told you that for free." So perhaps other people are better than me at these sort of diagnoses. That being said,
you got good health insurance though. You didn't. I'm pretty sure you didn't pay for it, right? And if you did, just tell me you didn't. It's fine.
$20 or something.
$20
It wasn't too bad.
Perfect.
But I love Tomori. I think she's probably my favorite of the characters that are in MyGo. And I just think she's like, I don't know. I thought she was a really good anchor for the group, sort of like the heart and soul of the group. And I thought that was the show did a good job there. And which is why I think I sort of like the latter half more into episode 3 as the focus sort of switched from Anon, who is fine, I guess, to Tomori and more of that cry sheet drama and everything. It sort of hooked me more because I thought, you know, those cast members were more exciting for me.
I agree.
I feel like the cast kind of stinks outside of Tomori. Like I get that Stray Cat is like a bit and whatever, and she's supposed to be fun and she's supposed to be ah ha ha.
Her grandma is the goat of Bang Dream.
I don't give a shit, man. She sucks. She's
I also
awful.
agree with you, Pat. I don't like her at all.
Like she would be the most, and I know it's a show and it's a gacha, and oh my god, she has homophobia. That was a joke. The two eyes.
Yeah.
Sorry, to be very clear, that was a joke. Maybe a deep Twitter joke there, but yeah, whatever.
Oh, is that like a joke for heterochromia or whatever?
Yes, they say the cat has homophobia. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a very deep reference. I'm sorry for anyone that I scared there. As far as we know, she isn't homophobic. So there we go.
People watch the film, they'll see my mouth literally drop when you say that, even though I know the reference.
Yeah. But she sucks. She is in a real band would be either gone immediately or the worst. Like think of your worst teammate ever in a sport, or if you're not an athlete and you didn't play a sport, think of a group project that you did in college or in high school or in middle school or in elementary school.
I think there's a lot of musicians that are like her actually.
Yeah, and like that sucks.
A lot. And I think there's a lot of successful musicians who are like that.
There's a lot of criminals in the NFL, but that doesn't make it right? Like I don't know.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's not necessarily like unrealistic or whatever.
No, but that doesn't mean they don't suck.
She shreds.
I agree with you, Pat.
Like she is I could not imagine trying to work with someone like her. And okay, I get it's a bit
bit character aside, before we go on a 5-minute I'm sorry to interrupt you. Before we go on a 5-minute argument about the bit character, you don't think Soyu's good? I like her. I like how confrontational she was. I like that she has her own agenda going on.
I liked her and Taki. I liked all the characters mostly.
I didn't, dude. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it a fucking bean with you. I did not know what Taki's name was the entire time.
Me either.
Me either. But I liked her.
I knew that. But
you don't need to know someone's name to like them.
I guess my broader point, like,
all I remember is her getting mad at people.
So that's her, like, her bit. That's her character trope, whatever. Like, I didn't mind Soyo. Like, it's not like I hated them so much that I was like, oh, they're objectively bad characters. But, like, excuse me, they were just so boring. Like there was their one thing about them, and that was the whole show. And oh my god,
Soyo's villain.
No, I
don't think she was a villain, by the way.
No,
I don't think a villain.
She was. No, I don't think so.
Oh,
she's a psychopath.
She's insane.
She's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
No, Sakiko is insane.
No, Soyo.
Sakiko is perfect.
No, she's
and
great.
That when
she
we
is
discussed episode 13,
she is
aka
fucking crazy.
The greatest episode of anime of all time. Pat, please finish.
Is Sakiko the brown-haired one?
No, Sakiko is the one who quit. She's the blue-haired one she was the last character we saw in the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess my broader point, and I think this will tie directly into what Pete was about to bring up, which is nice. By the power of editing, we can do it. Thank you, Trent. These characters, I know they're barely high school girls or whatever. They and ties to my broader point that this band would never succeed. They can't communicate for shit, and it drives me nuts, man. They are the worst communicators ever. You can't just run away from all your problems. I know that's the joke. I know that's the point. That's a shitty point. Like, fuck, man, this show sucks at having characters actually interact with each other and change or do anything together. It's like they just run away, and it causes so much forced fake drama that. And I love melodrama. I literally have that as my like tag on the Discord. Join the Discord. Sick plug, Pat. Thanks, Pat. Yeah, like fuck, man. Like it sucked. It wasn't fun melodrama like a domestic girlfriend or like I don't know. I'm gonna go out on a limb like White Album. I had fun, or two specifically. I had fun with that melodrama. I'll do a thumbs down for Pete.
Thank you.
For Pete, this is the thumbs down. For me, it's a thumbs up. But either way, the melodrama is fun in those shows because you're like, oh shit, I can't believe you just did that. I can't believe you just said that. The melodrama in this show is literally, oh, I'm confronting you about something that's going on in the band. Or even I exist in the same room as you. Oh, runs away like coward, like literally. It's like, oh my god, I hate it. It drove me nuts. It was so boring, so boring. Oh.
I don't know. Soyo dropping that she only participated in the band in order to get that one girl to pay attention to her again, and she didn't fucking care about any of the people in the band. Yeah, I thought that was like a pretty good drama moment.
I thought that was her just saying it though to get people mad. Like I don't know, like it's similar to like the white-haired girl who says, "Oh, I haven't had fun this entire." I don't know. Maybe this is hitting too close to home for me too because I've got a friend that's pulling this card right now. I didn't actually have fun. I was just putting on a face card or whatever. Like that shit is such cap. It is such cap when someone says that. Like you tell me that this girl didn't have fun with that band and that performance. Like bullshit. Get out of here with that shit, man. Like it is. I don't know. They just didn't feel. And the melodrama in all those other shows I mentioned, they feel like real characters. They feel like people that are like making bad decisions. In this show, they don't even feel like people. They feel like tropes that are just moving along a path to make this work out. Like again, so like Soyo maybe isn't the worst offender of it in that, like you said, in that specific thing, like scene. I like that was a good like, oh snap, like snap your fingers kind of moment. But like, did they earn it? Did they really earn that? I don't know. Like maybe they did, and maybe I just was too bored.
What do you mean by a snap your fingers moment there?
Like her being like, "Oh shit!" I like in that like pivotal moment where she like is like, "Oh, I only joined the band because X, Y, or Z. Like, you know, like that's like the big reveal, the big snap, like moment, whatever. Like that's where it's getting lost on me. Like I didn't feel like that was like, so hers wasn't as bad, but there are plenty of those moments where they like say stuff that's very rude and would destroy a band and a relationship in real life too, that just gets, oh, but no, let me run away instead. And then we talk, I grab your arm and catch up to you, and then everything's fixed. I don't know. I feel like I've been ranting.
Okay, I'll let Pete say what he needs to say, but I do have a thing on that.
You can go.
Okay. I'll just make it quick, and we don't have to like go back and forth about it. I think that you're kind of oversimplifying it a bit and making it seem like it's like a forgiveness-based thing for them with Soyu. I think for both Soyu and the other band members, it's not a forgiveness-based thing. They sort of say that, like, I won't forget. And I think that that's a pivotal thing. They're not forgetting what Soyu did, but they are determined to move forward with it because of this thing that they started together. Like they're trying to move forward and see her grow as a person, not necessarily forgive her for the terrible things that she said. And I think that that's like a good sign of friendship. Like in a lot of friendships, people have things where in moments of emotion, they say horrible things that they don't actually mean to people that they love and care about. And it's a big sign of friendship to be able to not necessarily forgive somebody for saying that sort of thing, but to be able to move forward with them and try to have a better tomorrow with them because you care about that person. You're not going to, throw it away.
I mean, fair enough. I just like it was, yeah, it's the broader melodrama and stuff that I got frustrated by, which I guess Pete will address here.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Pete, what have you got?
I think I'm with you, Pat, where I like melodrama in the sense of where it makes sense in the context of the show. And I think where this kind of lost me in MyGO is that there's multiple examples, but like in the first episode where like she sort of just quits the band altogether, and like Soyo is like treats it like she got like her family got murdered. It's just like I think they played one gig as a group. Like it's not the end of the world that you started a band and then it didn't work out, but then Soyo for some reason just like is in like utter despair for like the entire series. Like Soyo's entire scheme is to like get Cry Chic back together, but like that didn't make a lot of sense to me because it's like they're not well established. They're like 13 years old or something like that, where I think you can kind of play where like, it's teen girls end of the world situation and they view it as like this doomsday thing. But I lost, like it lost points for me where like some of these situations could just be resolved by talking. And I think like Chihaya did it in one episode where she sat everyone down and is like, okay, now talk. Like we need to figure this out. And like I like that moment, like those meta moments where like we're figuring out that a lot of these issues are being caused by like miscommunication and not talking. But there's just multiple instances where it's something like this where it's like it just feels out of place. Like it feels like losing a band is not that big of a deal, but then also like hatching this elaborate scheme to get the band back together is also why I think Soyo is like a psychopath, because like her whole thing is that. And like the fact that she got mad at Tomori that they performed her song that she wrote because she wanted it to be for Cry Chic. It's like, you have no say in this matter. Like you're the bassist. Tomori sings it. Tomori wrote, what's it called? Hiku Hikagi or whatever it's called. And it's like these melodrama moments where like I like that as like a character moment for Soyo, but then for the overall thing for the show, I think is just, it loses me because it's not, in a sense, I feel like, I don't know if grounded is the right word, but it seems so out of place in some points where it's like forced drama, forced melodrama that's not necessary and it can be solved.
So, okay. God, we're going to be on the defending the show Great, I guess.
It's me and you,
You
Miles,
don't
back
have to
back.
be.
We got. I
You
do.
don't
Me
have
and
you,
I
Miles.
have
Me
to
and you
because
till the end, Miles.
yeah. Let's do this. Let's collectively raise our score by defending it and getting some sort of Stockholm syndrome.
No, that is not. I'm sorry. It's locked in. It's not
And
moving.
so not yours, Jay and I. Like as we defend, we grow attached to it, regardless of how much we liked it originally.
It's about sending a message.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyways, 10 out of 10. So Soyo, I think specifically the drama that she goes through, I thought made a lot of sense. Her connection to the band, to Cry Chic, I think comes from her relationship. I'm gonna sound like Sigmund Freud, with her mother.
100%.
And how we see that, right? So
100%.
like, you know, her mom is working very hard, is obviously trying to do a lot for her, but is very busy. She has to be a bit supportive of her mother, but her mom has obviously done a lot to like provide her with a good life. They're very loyal to each other. You know, she obviously doesn't have a dad in the picture either. So I think she has this view and this extreme desire, of like loyalty, like to a toxic level, right? Where any sort of breaking apart is
Yes.
always bad, right? So you have maybe her parents went through a divorce or whatever. It's part of that. So to me, her overreacting and not being willing to communicate about these things and not liking like that their new band is singing a song from their old band, makes perfect sense to me because it's sort of her preserving that concept because she's not willing to let it go, because of all this, because of like her personal life and like what we see there. So to me, I thought that was all like specifically Soyo's part, I might say, was like pretty well grounded and made sense. Yes,
but like
it's all
it's like in the context of the show, like how long have they been in a band for? Like I get being loyal to a fault, like 100%, but like,
well, yeah, when you're 16 and it's been 2 years, that's 1/8 of your life.
okay, I get it. They don't think that way. I think it's like in a sense of where it's like, are you willing to craft this mastermind plan of getting your band back together after how many rehearsals and how many gigs? Because I guess this is just a personal thing. To me, that just sounds like crazy talk.
She's crazy. She's not being sane. It's her trauma coming out. Like, think back to high school, and if you or friends or any people you dated or anything, like dated someone for 6 months, they broke up, they took it really bad, and then spent more time than 6 months trying to get that person back.
Mm-hmm.
That happened all the time. It probably happened to me. I probably did that.
I definitely did that.
I'll say I didn't do that, so maybe this is where where we're picking the sides.
and I don't know. High school's tough for people.
100%. No, I get it.
So yeah, like she's just not willing to let it go. Probably because she's not able to.
Yeah, How do I want to like? I guess it's like in the sense of like I 100% understand where you're coming from, but I think it's more of like how the show presents it as like we can bring up like that meme where it's like MyGO is on like this scale of like how like serious and whatever, where it's like it's not like it's at the end of the day it's not serious like in a sense. Like I think the Ave Musica stuff is like way more and has like serious undertones. Where this is like, I think how it presents itself as like this serious moment of, yeah, we're trying to understand Soyo's like trauma, but in the sense of it's a bubbly pop girl band show. So it's hard to convey that.
Is it?
I think so.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Cause like, at least comparing this to something like, they have a lot of bad times in this. Like most of the time is like infighting, but it's like ultimately it's still you are correct.
Like they're not gonna shoot up heroin.
No, but like
man.
I guess it's when you see the drama moments and like something like Girls Band Cry, where like someone's like holding it in for whatever as long as it takes, and then like Nina like starts like bawling and like she can't take it anymore. Like I think like those are representative moments of like drama where like it makes sense of like holding it in, where it's like Soyo is just like when that one chick is like walking away, she's like, let's get the band back together. She's like, stop talking to me. And she's like, I will literally kill everyone for you. I love you so much. It's just like, yo, you need to pump the brakes, because I feel like that's
Dude,
that
it's
over
extremely
level
hard to
of
get
like
ghosted
dramatics
by
is like
somebody,
way
though.
too much, where it's like it doesn't emphasize like the tone of the show of what it's presenting to me.
I think it's like, honestly, I think it's more subtle with it than Girls Band Cry is. I don't mean to, like, you know, go all, you have to have a very high IQ to understand Bang Dream, It's MyGO or something. But, like, I think that there's a lot of very subtle character hints compared to some of the stuff in Girls Band Cry. Like, you bring up Soyu and, like, her mom and her abandonment issues because of, like, with what seems like it could be because of her family. Like, it makes sense that she would react extremely poorly to someone that she cares about and is very important to her, literally ghosting her. Like, ghosting is a hard thing to go through as, like, a grown-ass person when it's somebody you care about, let alone when you're a child whose brain isn't fully developed, feeling big feelings.
And I would agree if they had like the relationship where I felt like they had that, but I don't feel like they had that relationship in the show. Like they had a gig.
I agree, and I think that too. Like, if we were shown more of the backstories of these characters and these things that you guys, and I can see where you're coming from as well from the perspective, but maybe death of the writer isn't the perfect term of it, but like if they had foreshadowed anything like that or had shown Soyo actually suffering from it or having her talk to a bandmate about it or anything along those, rather than you guys, like I feel like you're accrediting it to them without the show actually having earned it. You're just being like, oh, well, for the sake of it actually making sense, it has to be this. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's presented in that way. I think, like, I mean, there's a lot of foreshadowing, by the way.
Like, it is subtle, but it's not like super subtle. Like,
yeah,
I don't think I'm like grasping for straws here with anything.
I think overall we are, but not for Soyo. Soyo has the scene with her mother, right?
Yeah,
where
this
she's
is what
sitting with her
I'm
mother,
specifically talking about Soyo, mind you. This is me talking specifically about Soyo's characterization. Because, like, Soyo doesn't have a lot of friends, that is established.
Yes.
Soyo gets, like, so, like, when someone comes and, like, reaches out to her and, like, is her basically first friend and then ditches her, I think that is set up well enough for Soyo to act the way she did.
Sure.
When Anon quits the band later for whatever reason, I literally can't remember. I would agree with you, Pete. I do not think that was a thing that was earned. I didn't care. I did think it was funny that the cat was the first girl to show up for Tomori, though, and like just play guitar with her. I thought that was nice.
That was hilarious.
Oh, by the way, Soyo is my favorite character of the show.
I think it's made her a little more insane than like
she's a psychopath.
I just would like to say here that children cannot be diagnosed as psychopaths. It's just not something that's done. Like, we can use some language for it, but
in 2 years, though, she's toast.
She's not aggressive enough to fulfill those roles. Unfortunately,
wasn't given a chance to be aggressive yet, though, right? Like, I mean,
aggressive. Like, we didn't see her attempt to stab somebody with a fork one time, and they had forks plenty of times in that show. Like, honestly, if she was a psycho, she would have been doing a lot more than just saying, like, "Hey, will you tell me this person's address?"
No, she's like a psycho in the same way that, like, if you've ever dated someone and then you broke up and then they sent you 47 texts in a row.
The stuff she does is despicable, but I think that, you know, I don't know. I'm just
I don't mean like she actually lacks empathy. I sort of just mean she's unable to handle her grief and takes it out on other people.
Miles, like, kind of where you're not super comfy with the autism thing, I think that might be how I feel about the psychopath thing.
That's fair.
But I am not somebody who was ever called a psychopath, mind you. I'm pretty chill.
Yeah, no, I just think that, like, I mean, I thought it was pretty realistic of someone who was having a hard time accepting something, like, from my experience.
For that,
I think Pete and I understand that. I think where we're getting lost is the literally tapping fingers together, maniacal evil plan oh, I was thinking of it 4 steps ahead the whole time that this would happen, like kind of plan that she unfolds to like blow up the band. Like if they, and maybe you could say that was just stewing and she finally just said it, even though she didn't mean it or whatever. But like, that just is like,
Wasn't
in
the
the
plan-
moment when she just be like, oh, when she would normally just be like, oh man, well, the band didn't work out. Screw you guys. I'm going home. Like seriously, like when she just says, and I think you all stink, you know, like literally, like, wouldn't that be like what a normal teenage girl would do in that moment?
Like, I think her plan was, I mean, the plan was, as far as I know, get the band playing again to get that girl back interested in the band.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not like maniacally 4 steps ahead of you. It's just like, maybe they'll come back if I keep going to the spots we used to hang out or something. It's like, it's not a complex plan.
It became despicable whenever she added on the like, and I was lying, and I'm gonna kick these other 2 out of the band because we don't need them anymore.
Yeah, and I faked
like,
all my orgasms, and yeah, all that.
Yeah, like I think that her plan in general, like, it's not great, but I don't think it's like I don't know, man. Like, I think Anon is like kind of like a disposable character anyway, so I don't really care if she got her Anon. And the Stray Cat would have been fine. Like, she's basically Buckethead, but a cute girl. So like, she would have been perfectly fine.
Stray Cat deserves, I don't know, to go play the guitar on the streets and make money however she does. Because
oh my god, just have the hardest song on Guitar Hero 2.
She's developed a drinking problem.
Yes, yeah. Like everyone.
He's super tall. He's 6'6", so probably takes a lot to get him drunk.
Like the Dragon Force, like just the entire band.
Who was your favorite male character in the show?
Tomori's dad.
There are 2.
Okay.
Nice answer, Jay. There's basically 2, and no, there's not basically. There is 2, and one of them is the wrong answer, and Jay said it. So well done. Like, it's one is the dad of, I think it's Anon, I think, or either that or it's Tomori's dad. Tomori's dad, doesn't she? Or no, wait, Tomori's dad's a good guy, right? Like,
it's Sakiko's dad.
Sakiko's the bad guy. Yeah, sorry. That's why I was like, wait a minute. No, Jay, you actually said the right answer, but I think you meant to say the wrong answer.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
You didn't? Oh, okay. I thought you were doing a meta joke here. Okay. All right. Take all that credit back. I'm taking it all back. But yeah, no. Tomori's dad is actually pretty chill. He has one line. He says hello to her through the door. Says like, "Oh, hey, are you okay?"
I don't understand why they. Well, they also show him at one scene, and he's just like Tomori or whatever. Yeah,
that's literally all he does. That's 2 scenes he's in for a frame or 2, and then at the end of episode 13, we see whatever her name is walk into a room with alcohol everywhere. See her click her tongue, and it's implied to be her dad laying there.
She says no like good father already.
Yeah,
like in there. So.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, who's your favorite male character in Bang Dream?
Him, because I'll tell you why.
He did inspire Evan.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah. I want to tell everyone about my personal journey. Pete, I know you had strong opinions about this episode as well. So
it was just weird.
It's the best thing I've ever fucking seen.
Introduced episode 13. It was awesome.
I love the music, but they get introduced as like a band, and they're playing like Madison Square Garden. It's just like we just got introduced to this band.
They have an idol.
But they
have an idol in the band.
No, but we don't. They don't. They know that as a group, but the audience doesn't know that.
Right,
dude. It's Tokyo. You can get like if you have a big venue, you can get people to show up to a show.
They have those cars, Pete, that I know you've seen just also, going around playing their music.
I was just confused because they just were selling out the venue with like the whole point is they don't know who these band members are. I get
like the
whole point of them grabbing the YouTuber was because she was well known. So if people know who these band members actually are,
they don't. That's the whole point. They don't know who they are. The audience doesn't know that the lead singer is the part of that duo group. They don't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As someone who just watched this episode like 3 hours ago because he procrastinated it, you guys are both right here. Where what's in the show, and this is bad by the show, by the way, at least from what we've seen. Although who knows, because we basically started season 1 of another anime.
Yes.
In that 13th episode, it was a completely different show. Sure, they tied it to the first one, but like it wasn't. It like bullshit. But anyways, they in the show, the girl with the alcoholic dad says, "Oh, hey, why do you like why?" Or she meets the VTuber or whatever, and is like, "Why should I join you?" Or the VTuber's like, "Why should I join you guys?" And she says, "Or why do you want me?" And the girl goes, "Oh, it's because you get a lot of clicks and because you're talented and because you have a big name or whatever." However, then later on in the show, multiple times in the backstage, she's like, "Oh, I'm going to reveal myself. I'm going to film myself here." She goes, "No. The whole point is no one knows who we are."
Exactly.
That's the whole point of the band. So, and I
Okay.
get where you guys are coming from with like the strong marketing and like the pizzazz behind it. Who knows? Maybe they got her media agency.
I'm going to cook
publish
after
it.
you're done. I'm going to
Yeah,
cook
no,
after
you
you're
can.
done.
You can. I agree with Pete though that it's like it is insane. If no one knew who Gorillaz was, sorry to just dunk on you, Miles, here, but like this just because you brought their name up. If Gorillaz performed for the very first time ever without any previous music being released at Madison Square Garden, they would get maybe 3,000 people in that stadium.
Yeah.
They weren't like the
Maybe.
House of Blues, though.
Okay.
They weren't
they're
at
like
Madison
huge.
Square Garden.
They're like
They were-
the Kodak.
They weren't
Theater
in an
or something.
arena. They were in a theater.
It was
In a theater. All right,
thousands
cool.
of people. Thousands.
It was like, all right, fine. House of Blues, they would sell even less because they're not in the Mecca. They're in freaking House of Blues, and it'd be like, oh, well, who is this group performing? Oh, well, that's cool. I guess maybe we'll go to the show, but we have no idea what they're about. We don't know what kind of music they play. We don't know what they do. There's no promo for them because they didn't exist before this show. So it's like there's no. It was weird, and again, that wasn't
Okay,
even the biggest problem.
just so you know, by the way, they performed at an actual real life theater called the Yokosuka Arts Theater, which
And
seats
it has a
1,800 people.
Okay.
Okay, they still
it's
wouldn't fill it.
irrelevant. Like they don't
Like,
know
they
who these
wouldn't-
people are.
I don't understand
It's a
how.
sellout venue.
You act like the people who like run the band and stuff don't know who these people are, and
Yeah, they
wouldn't
do.
still. But they still have their connections just because these people don't know who they are. If
The
you know
connections
promoter,
to the audience.
can I finish?
No.
If
yeah, I'm kidding.
Okay, thank you. If you know promoters and stuff like that, it's not hard to find good promoters who can tell people, hey, talk about this mysterious new show that's going to be coming out. We don't know who the members are, but they seem very talented. Like, it's literal, like they'd be called industry plants because they basically are, more or less. But, you know, like, it's not really that hard to think that a band that's related to, like, an idol, a super rich girl, a formerly super rich girl, I should say, a YouTuber, that girl who's in like 30 bands and could just be like, hey, I heard that there's a performance going on there. Tell everybody. I think that this band's really good. She doesn't even have to say that she's in the band. There's literally a myriad ways based on all the connections these people
Yeah,
have
then show
for
it.
them to promote it. You don't have to. It would be boring as fuck to show them going out
I guess from
handing flyers
a
and
meta
shit like
perspective,
that.
they have this grand spectacle of this brand new thing, this brand new act that like nobody's ever heard of and nobody knows. And sure, there's connections because there's obviously connections because people are super rich. But like from a meta standpoint of the show, it's like, it's silly. Why isn't that like that for every other act? I don't know. I thought it was just like ridiculous.
They're not as good.
They don't have the connections.
The music was insane, but like the people don't know the music is insane because it's the first time they're hearing it.
So there's probably like a preview. Maybe they've released a single or something.
I mean,
They could even have people who are
I don't think
paid
it's
to be
grasping at
there.
straw. I think
They
it's
legitimately could have people who are paid to be there, paid actors.
yeah. I don't know. I'm looking at like idol group like debut. There are groups that before they have put out music have 500,000 pre-orders.
I imagine they had like guerrilla
getting that
marketing.
size of an
Like
audience.
they could have shown some amount. I will concede that point to you, but I don't think that they need like. There's enough going on there to where like I can go, yeah, that seems believable.
Well, okay.
Like,
also,
that's
we're
all
going to
that
get a
I
whole
need.
season about it in a month.
Yeah. It felt like an
And I will
OVA.
be seated. And I will be seated.
It did feel like a MyGo episode. I guess that's probably the biggest thing.
And that's why it was the best episode of the show.
I loved it. I loved that episode.
Okay. That was I genuinely like it makes it hard for me to process the rest of the show because I saw that episode and I was like, holy fuck. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen. I listened to every single Ave Musica EP that's currently out. I was like,
I'm gonna do
these
that tomorrow.
people absolutely fucking slap. It's like so Miles coded. One of the songs is just called like Delta, like the Delta symbol, and it's used to change the element. It's like, yeah, I don't. There's like the fucking. It's like Black Birthday is the name of the song. It's just like so like gothic bullshit. I love it. Yeah, they have a cover of the Call the Night OP. That's pretty good.
Oh,
yeah.
That's all you ever had to say to me, Miles. You know that.
And like, I don't know. It was just weird. I don't think I've ever experienced anything like this where I watched 12 episodes of a show and it turned out that it was actually all just a commercial for the next show, and that I was super hyped upon. Like, 'cause normally I feel like I'd get really mad about learning that, but I'm just so hyped for the show because it's like the most Miles core looking thing in the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
I would also just like to say, while I'm still on it, even though the Yokosuka Arts Theater has 1,800 seats, some of those are in the balcony, and I'm pretty sure we only saw people ground level, so it wasn't even 1,800 people. Probably
we saw the
showed
second
two
level
levels.
and the third
Oh,
level.
just okay.
Yeah.
All right, I might have been too busy grooving. Then I'm not gonna lie. At some point, I zoned out and let the witchcraft take over me.
Yeah,
I guess
I
like,
wanted to go see them.
Yeah, I get that. They
They're
were hyped. They
basically
were
Death
good.
Clock. They're basically Death Clock, but cute girls.
Yeah. I was like, after every other standard that had been set in the show up to
Mhm.
that point, it felt very like, what the hell? What's going on here? How does this relate to the first two seasons of a show, I guess? Or even if you really want to say it's a completely different thing, even though they still reference the other characters, it's the same universe. It's a completely different, like even if it's just like everything that was established in that first season, very different, I think. And
Well,
that
it shows why those people quit the band and like what they were doing and like why a lot of people were acting a certain way during various points of the show, right? Like, she quit the band so that she could go do this like fucking great project. She's like, you know, she wants to be the guy.
they didn't like establish that she. Like, I don't know. So if they hinted at it throughout the rest of the times that they showed her,
They
maybe
did.
that would have made it.
They did 100%. Undeniable.
Mm,
Look, you can look at our Anime Club channel, and there are actually just like 1,000 posts from Eagle and Zig just that are like all foreshadowing of exactly this moment.
From what I understand, people have basically figured out a lot of plot points for the next season with all the foreshadowing already, and they're pretty likely to be right on some of them.
cool.
So lucky for you, Pat, they did
don't know.
exactly the thing you wanted, and therefore that flaw
It's a
does
10
not
out of
exist,
10.
and you have to make it a 10.
Yeah, I guess so. Thanks. I'm really glad that you guys have worked so hard to defend this show that absolutely sucked. Like, I don't know.
It absolutely sucked. I thought it was fine.
It was,
I liked
yeah,
it, man.
I didn't think
You thought it sucked.
I'm exaggerating a little bit, but okay. All right, let's do our
We
closing
didn't even
thoughts,
talk about
I
like
guess.
the shit that was good in the show.
I mean, I thought I did. Yeah.
You guys definitely did. Yeah, I have stuff I can say too that's decently positive about it. But
Save it for final thoughts.
Exactly. Let's do it in our closing thoughts. So, Miles, why don't you start it off and give us your final score too, please?
Yeah, episode 1 of Ave Musica was fucking awesome. And I can't wait to watch the rest of it. The producer or the lady who's like writing it, saying that she got more freedom and is planning on making it a psychological horror, like makes me really excited.
I highly doubt it's going to be a psychological.
I can see it happening. I believe
It's still going to be Bang Dream.
I think Bang Dream has finally realized that their discount, they got to separate themselves from Love Live a little bit. Anyways, I think the beginning part of the show is like not great. Though I actually really like the later half. I thought the drama and stuff that didn't hit for some people hit for me. And I really liked it once they started sort of dealing with these like interpersonal issues and everything more, and things started coming out. Also, episode 13 is like the best episode of anime. It was just so cool. What a performance that was. I normally don't really care about like in anime performances that much, but like this was like whoo. Like this and probably like God Knows are like the two that really like stand
Damn.
out to me. I'd probably put this higher than that.
Damn.
Yeah. I can't remember any of the MyGo performances really. Their music didn't do anything for me. Where do I want to put this? I'm going to give this anime. I'm torn. I'll give it a 7. I was pretty torn between 7 and 8 because I like the second half. Pat, you made us watch Tadaku Never Falls in Love. You can never be bored.
That
about
was
something.
one time. And
Yeah, I'll never remember.
Bro, you're trying to get me to watch
bored I was.
Princess Principal.
Princess
Dude,
Principal
that show was
slaps.
fun, and most of the
I've
people
never
agreed.
seen it. I'm just trying to be a hater.
I'm gonna say I guarantee you that Tadaku Never Falls in Love is gonna have a higher average score than this does. I can almost guarantee you.
You're going to give this a 1?
Yeah, that's
No.
because you're going to weigh it down. You have time
No,
to
I'm
weigh
not.
down
I
the
really
score
am
all the
not.
way at the end.
I mean, I would love to, but I don't know. Maybe I should just pretend to really like a show, and then you guys will hate it next time. And then there we go. That'll be big brain, and then we'll all balance out in the end.
But no,
Okay.
I don't know. I really like the second half of the show. Like I thought it was
Yeah.
good. There's a lot of good characterization and foreshadowing. These are all things that I enjoy. Some things I didn't enjoy were the tie-ins to like the multimedia franchise. I don't want to see what's her name on my screen ever again from Popping
Kazumi?
Party. Yeah, just get the hell out of here. Like talk about something that doesn't fit the tone of the show. It's the original Bang Dream, which I think is just
100%.
very
Yeah.
different. Yeah, but anyways, I'll go with the 7, but I don't know, maybe I'll bump it up to an 8 one day.
Okay. Jay, what about you?
Yeah, I thought that the show was pretty good. The sound design was obviously pretty killer. I'm glad they put a good budget into that. The animation on the like instrument playing was really solid. I think that that's something that should give some of you Blue Giant haters something to give a couple of points for, maybe, that it didn't look like Blue Giant when they were performing. There you go, Pat. Like every time Stray Cat was playing the guitar, that shit slapped. Same with Cucumber Girl, whose name I can't remember. I'm sorry. I think was it Mutsumi? No, maybe not. I don't know. Whichever one it was. I'm sorry, Bang Dream
Cucumber
fans.
Girl's
I'm
good
trying.
enough.
Yeah, Cucumber Girl, you'll understand what I meant by that. Every time they played guitar, it was awesome. It was well animated. I liked the melodrama. I thought that it was funny at points, but I also did think that underneath the melodrama, there was some good subtext as well as like just plain text there to give reasons for some of it. A lot of it, unfortunately, not. I think that the show would have, like, I think honestly, you could have put Tomori in Anon's place and it would have been perfectly fine, more or less. Apart from the being an outsider part. Like, she's literally just there to have somebody who doesn't know about why they would have broken up. And I think you could have done that with just somebody in their school. But it's whatever. Talking about this show, like, at first, when I first started watching it, I thought that this was going to be very low rated for me. But talking about this show, defending it a bit, I actually really do enjoy it. I'm maybe not as high on it as some other people in our community, but for me, this is a solid 8 out of 10. Where's the foam
Yeah.
finger at, Pat?
I'll give it to you. Yeah.
Thank
we
you.
go. Yeah, no, of course. Okay. Pete, what about you?
I think I was hating on it a lot. I still think that this show was still, I think at the end of it, was trying to do two things at once and it didn't succeed on either. I wish it was going to go more one way than the other. I thought I was a little too fluffy for the style of dramatic that it was doing, and it didn't resonate with me as something like Girls Band Cry did. The good things though, I thought episode, I think it was 7, where they were fucking up the sound check. I thought that was great. I thought that was like a really good, fun band moment of sort of like trying to figure it out together. Episode 10 was really good as well. We mentioned episode 3. Episode 12 was my favorite. It was like a full performance, but I also liked the meta of sort of like, one of the things that I didn't really like in the show was that they didn't really feel like a band. And I didn't really get the vibes of the band. And Tomori like actually like acknowledges the fact that like we're not there yet, but we're working on it. And I really like that call out because like I was also feeling the same way. Like it reminded me a lot. This will be really random as fuck, but Record of Lodos War, where like the group
Is
party, where like one thing I didn't like about that show was like I didn't vibe with the group, and I didn't vibe with this group. But I think that I like that the fact that they acknowledge that they're figuring it out, and I like that. I think that was really fun. Episode 13, while I thought the music was insane and it was the best music of the entire show, felt really out of place. I thought that this should have been an OVA or this should have been episode 1 of the new season. I don't think it meshed well at all with it because I think it's sort of, I think I'm with Miles. I'm looking forward to that way more than whatever MyGO was. Like, I do think it's a detriment to the show to like, hey, you like this used car? Well, how about this brand new car behind door 2? And like, that's what it was. I was like, I want door number 2. I don't want door number 1. So like
It's
that
like,
was,
oh, you won a Honda Civic. Oh, that's exciting. But you could have won a brand new
right?
Ferrari.
And it's like,
It's like
I don't like for like, you know, I've seen like Love Live and then they goes into Sunshine and it goes into Superstar. Like they don't do that, but like they still like mesh with the world. And we kind of got that with this MyGO. To sort of just like tie that in felt really weird. I feel like we should have got like a blip of Ave Magica or whatever it's called instead of like an entire episode. And I think that would have been much better for like the show itself. So I actually do think it's a detriment on It's MyGO and a positive for the next season of Bang Dreams. So take it as it is. I thought the show was like, I think fine. Like Miles said, I think the second half was significantly better than the first. I think I would have dropped this after 3 episodes, even though I did like episode 3. But I'm glad I stuck with it, and the second half really carried the show. I'm gonna give this a 7.
That is shocked that we're so mid on this show and not all at like a 4.
No, well, Pete literally just used the word fine. The show was fine overall, and then gave it a 7.
Well, I don't just because Mal has 5 out of 6 doesn't mean I'm gonna give it.
I know, but I'm just.
If enjoyment is my number one factor. I thoroughly enjoyed the second half of the show.
Yeah, I guess that's where this loses me because like I did enjoy the second half more than the first half, but that's a very low bar for me, at least it was. Yeah, I really did not have fun with this show. I clearly am not the target demographic for this genre.
Shockingly, you are.
Yeah, you definitely are.
Mid-20s male is definitely the demographic for Bang Dreams.
Okay, well that's fair.
You were
you have money,
the demographic like a couple months ago.
I do. Well, like counterpoint. Never mind. I won't. Because
save yourself there.
I know where you're going with it. Yes. So I am not the. Fair enough. I get what your point is, though. I probably am. Then it should have hockey in it or something, I guess, so that I would like it. Except no, that's my goal. That's what Precore or whatever that or Pride of Orange was, and it sucked.
Don't even pretend this is Pride of Orange.
It's as bad. Sorry.
It is that is absurd.
It's pretty damn close. I think it's pretty damn close.
I hate that show.
In terms of enjoyment. In terms of enjoyment for me.
Okay, sure.
It was the same. I don't know. I think that this show I really do think we're giving it way more credit than I think it deserves. Personally, I can see the points that you guys are making, but I don't like. How are we forgetting how bad this show was until episode 7, where it became like watchable?
Episode 3 was a banger.
Episode 3 was fine though. Like
it was you, my man.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I don't. I really don't. I think that we're all coping here.
Like I think it's a really highly rated show.
I've reviewed like 1,000 anime. You think I'm coping over fucking Bang Dream? It's MyGO.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, but something else though. The more specifically that I also didn't really like the art in it. I wish it wasn't so 3D-ish. Like it wasn't bad inherently, but they were very just like shiny and wasn't a lot of detail with their faces. At least in most scenes, there were a couple scenes where they were like had those fun faces like they did in Girls Band Cry that made it more fun. Not nearly as many. They were very robotic in how they walked and moved and looked on screen. I agree that it's better than Blue Giant at certain moments, but I also feel like Blue Giant's peaks were a lot higher than this show's peaks with their performances.
Yes, because they flew
So
through space.
yeah, and this show,
Well-
the music was fine in it, but I wasn't very blown away by them performing, which makes sense because they're 14-year-old girls who have never done it before, and they shouldn't even be
16.
on stage. Oh, are they 16? Because
No,
they say
they're
they're
they're like 30.
they're
but
first years.
They're
in
middle
high
school.
school,
No,
which is
middle
a
school.
sophomore.
They're
No,
middle
high school.
schoolers.
You can look at their school on their
They're high
page. It's a high
schoolers.
school.
First year high schoolers in Japan
Yeah.
are 16.
Like I
Yes,
said, high school
Because
the whole
they
time.
basically go sophomore, junior, senior, and then they're out. They're
Yep.
a 3-year thing.
So, all right, well, I was that's yeah, whatever. They might be 16 is what it is. Case. Okay.
Yeah, they're
Right, 'cause
probably
they would be like
16.
14 to 16. All right, cool.
15 to 16.
12 to 17.
They honestly could be any age.
And they would all still
I was
suck.
looking
It
up.
doesn't
I looked up
matter.
the Bang Dream fandom page for Chihaya, and the background. Sorry to go off topic, but it says near the end of 9th grade, she had expressed an interest in attending a high school in England as a foreign exchange student. However, while there, she realized how inferior she was in contrast to everyone. That wording is just crazy, no?
It's pretty loaded.
That's what she says, though, right? That's how she feels
Yeah.
because she
Yeah,
can't
but from
Because
the
they did like
synopsis-
80. They did like 80 microaggressions to her in 10 seconds.
Oh, I didn't think it was that bad. She was just she didn't speak English well, and like so they were like, and granted that's wrong of them to do it, but like
They,
it's like
they
you
gave
know,
her the old Connecticut
So,
special
like, her
No,
thinking
yeah,
I'm
okay, no.
inferior.
like if I went to Japan and they started speaking me in Japanese, and then I didn't know how to respond in Japanese, if they made fun of me for that, and I was going there to study in Japanese, I think it would be pretty valid of them to make fun of me for being bad at Japanese, considering that's the whole reason I was there is to study in
They
Japanese.
kept calling
Like,
her Anne instead of her name when she said what her name was, and that pissed me off.
I thought she
Same.
said to call herself Anon.
Yeah, she
They-
did.
She said
And then
she said
they
my name.
pronounced that
She said my
incorrectly.
name is Anon, not Anne, and then they're like they're just
Okay,
like,
Anne.
Anne.
Okay, fair enough. Well, they were trying to Americanize or not Americanize, Britishize it.
Anglicize.
Anglicize it. Yeah, colonizer. Yeah, Japan was never a colonizer.
No, never.
Earning those, we're getting our Japanese viewers back with that statement. Okay, the broader point too that I would like to make that always annoys me with these shows, especially because they are supposed to be like not a professional band. They're very clearly meant to be a hobby band, and they're trying to make it. You know, everybody. Blah, blah. It makes me laugh every time when, and it's even worse in this show when like a timid little girl voice that can barely talk like this and is really quiet suddenly then like in the snap of a finger when they start performing turns into this like professionally trained excellent voice that it's like I don't even are the voice actors the same as the singers?
Yes.
There's like no way. Really?
Yep. The same thing with
Good
Girls
for
Gone
her.
Cry.
People can do that, but you just sing from your like
That's
diaphragm. You just
generally in shows like this, that's what they're gonna do because it's
it's
cheaper to pay than to do both.
and I understand that, but it's just like so that makes sense that this, let's say, 23 to 29-year-old woman can do that. It always makes me laugh though that like a 14-year-old girl sings with like that gusto and that power, and it's just like I don't know. Again, it's not necessarily a knock on the show inherently, but it is.
I watched Hannah Montana. That should happen.
That's why Nina's my girl.
Nina is
From Girls Band Cry. She
Girls Band
just
Cry.
turned 17, and that's how she sings, and that's how she sounds.
Hmm.
She's insane.
yeah. I don't know. You can listen to like Amy Winehouse back when she was like a teenager. So they exist, right?
Yeah.
Like they're rare, and apparently they all go to this one
And
high school.
They
in
all
Tokyo.
go to this one high
But-
school in Tokyo. Thank you, Miles, for making the point that I was making. Yeah, where it's like again, it's like it's just funny because like again, if so, if she sounded like that and she was the lead singer of Ave Maria bullshit, Ave Maria, then that would be cool. It'd be like, oh, that makes sense. This random fucking untrained voice that's never sang before sounds like that. Okay, that's really cool. I guess that's she's just the Michael Jordan except no, Michael Jordan worked really hard and trained really hard and went to a really blue blood school to then do it at a professional level. So you know what, it is what it is. I did not have very much fun watching the show. Sorry to all the people that really like it. It's clearly not for me. I gave it a 5 out of 10 because I thought it was perfectly average at the most times. So yeah, that brings our average score between the four of us to a 6.75, which is a whole point and a half below the Mal of 8.21. So yeah, I guess that wraps up our discussion. It did end up below Tadakun Falls in Love. That's too bad for the show. Unlucky. L plus ratio.
Never
Yeah,
lucky.
due specifically to your score, as we mentioned.
Yeah, that's well, the score hasn't changed since 6 hours ago when I finished. So
Accounting for
at least
outliers.
I think you were the outlier, Miles, on the Tadakun episode.
I gave it a 6.
I think most people gave it a 7 or an 8, which is why it ended
6
up
isn't
at
a
7.
more
It's an
than
outlier for me.
2 points lower than the average score.
It's only one more lower than the
There's
average.
only 10 options. So one might say
One
that
might
it's
say it's
200%.
Okay, wow, yeah, I know. Statistics are really good at. They're really cool. It's really fun to manipulate statistics, and you're very good at it.
That's how you would do it. That would be more important than one.
Well, good thing the record books still show the score.
I'm going to retroactively lower my Tadakun score to a 1.
Oh, good thing that's not how it works too, based on rules that we've established before that totally are written out and totally not written out actually. But yeah, all right, Miles, what won this coming week?
Yeah, so next week we will be watching Bang Dream season 2.
Woo!
We're going back in time.
Poppin' party,
No.
baby.
I think I have a headache 2 weeks from now. I think I'm gonna have to miss that episode.
Yeah, you have a headache from Bang Dream withdrawals.
Woo!
Let's go. I
Sponsored
gave
by
this show a
Bang
7.
Energy.
My current average Bang Dream score is a 6.5. So, in second place was 86 season 2, earning
the third
its
place.
That's actually where 86 season 2 came in. Third place. I don't know why I said second. The second
I was
place that
wondering.
isn't the winner.
Got it.
Yeah,
You got second to second place. I see what you're saying.
yeah, 100%. In actual second place is High School of the Dead, earning its 5th legacy point. And we will be watching the Mononoke movie.
Woo! Let's fucking go, baby.
Yes.
I'm not watching the original series for this yet. I'm sorry. I'm just going to watch the movie. I don't have time to watch another series for this.
I do not know if that is doable or not, but it will be an interesting
do it.
perspective
I'm gonna
nonetheless.
do
Yeah,
it.
I shouldn't have said that. It is doable. I should have said advisable. And that is where we're at.
Like
Yeah,
4
Jay,
years after we did.
Jay, you could do that with Princess Principal too. You could just like not watch the original show and get away with it.
Yeah.
Even more so than Mononoke, I would argue. By the way,
Mononoke seems like you could probably skip the show.
They said I see one person on Reddit with no upvotes, just one singular vote, saying no need to watch the anime beforehand.
Was that
but I would
you?
recommend watching it too.
Did you leave that comment?
No, based on their
He's like, I see someone as he's typing. That's
based on their profile, they speak fluent Japanese, so no, most certainly not me. But it does make me trust their opinion more on it.
Yeah, well, it's a series of vignettes, so I would believe that you could probably do that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think it'd be like if you didn't watch like the Mushishi seasons or something, and there was a movie. Like, go ahead, you're good.
all right. But yeah, that's what we're watching. Mononoke movie Karakasa or Phantom in the Rain. Miles, what are you nominating for Watch Club?
We're just gonna do Maidens again.
Maidens. All right.
I think I'm gonna bring back a classic. I think you guys are acting a little sus. I'm gonna nominate Astra Lost in Space.
Thought you were
I
doing.
wasn't sure if it was going to be that or Teasing Master.
Yeah,
Kara. Whatever.
Nagatoro.
I was thinking Nagatoro. Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what I was
Every
gonna say.
time I do that, you're like, he's doing Nagatoro. I never do that.
I don't even like. Yeah, I don't know what any of those shows are, but I just know that people got really mad that a teenager said the word sus.
That did happen.
Even though it was canonically the correct word to use.
Yeah, it was like a
Not canonically.
Japanese
Yeah.
word.
Okay, I know what
It
I'm
was like a
gonna
slang
nominate.
word for suspicious. So
It literally made sense.
it sounds like a really good translation to me.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't know though, Miles, because you can't tell if the sub is good or not, right?
Yeah, the voice acting specifically. So
Okay.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
That That's what I said.
No,
That was the whole point
That
of the
is
episode.
literally what you said. Yes.
No, didn't you also say? We'll talk about this later. Jay, what about you?
I'm gonna nominate Mob Psycho season 2.
It's like, ooh, that'll win.
I mean, High School
Probably
Dead has
not,
like 5
honestly.
legacy points.
It doesn't matter. It keeps getting beat by 1 point
Now
every
you
single
know how
time.
I feel.
No, I haven't won in like 9 months. It feels like at this
Just keep
point.
nominating Princess Principal.
It always places, or it did for a while until I started
Doesn't matter,
nominating.
you gotta win.
At least,
Yeah, wait, did you even nominate High School of the Dead?
This
I
last one,
nominated
Jay stole it.
I stole it
Okay,
last
okay.
week because I didn't prepare.
and it was supposed to win because I got to vote for it first.
Yeah, well,
instead
you
of
can
for it
blame
second.
specifically Kat, who never votes. And so I think your show's going to win. And then I realize Kat hasn't voted. And then I say, Kat, can you vote? And he does. And then he doesn't.
It changes the tide.
That has happened multiple times now.
It has. It's been pretty brutal. I just want to watch a show I want, man. Which I guess we did with 86, but that was indirect. Like I didn't even nominate it, man. And then we sat there and shat on it the whole time. It felt like so.
I wouldn't have shat on it.
Did it get like an 8 or something? Like
No, I gave it a good score. I think we ended up.
It got like a 7. That's fine.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is that I lost the score?
I think it got exactly a 7.
What are you nominating, Pat?
Yeah, I'm going to nominate High School of the Dead because I think it would be really fun to talk about. And I will come with shooters to that one. I will be ready to fight to the death about that show. So,
I've seen it like
And then
3
even
times.
after-
I'm with you.
even if I die, I will be reanimated as a zombie and fight even further. So, please, can I win one, please? Anybody, please?
Pete, did you nominate something?
Astra Lost in Space.
Astra.
Thank you.
Remember, you were acting a little sus.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Maybe not.
threw you off there by not being prepared. That's my
Yeah.
bad.
No, I threw myself off by being who.
By being a sussy
Uh,
baka.
Yeah. Okay, guys. I'm burnt out of this conversation. I'm gonna go my way to
The polls.
giving Pete.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm going to use that in 4 years. Hey, Siri, remind me in 4 years to say, bang, dream, it's my go to the polls. For those of you not in the Discord, by the way, at one point I said that it's my bang dream, that's my go, I don't know you, like King of the Hill. And that was pretty funny. Join the Discord.
Sick plug, Jay.
I had a good pun with that as well at one point. Yeah, I guess that wraps up Watch Club for MyGo and what we're voting on. Please vote for whatever you feel like should win. And yeah, Pete, take it away.
Yes, and if you made this far and you want to support us, the best way to do so, like, comment, subscribe, leave a review on whatever platform you're watching or listening to us on. Next week is the Fantasy Football Punishment Show. I can't wait. I have something super fun planned. It's going to be a great time. People are going to have to watch some really bad shows. Looking forward to wheel deciding our fate. Otherwise, if you're here for Watch Club, we will see you in 2 weeks for the Mononoke movie. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.
Bye bye.